Takewosa di chair mweru na nitukurora ku make sure ona maundu maria turenda maria hi matakinyitio ni kewopa kuri committee iyo ya Nancy Baraza nituku make sure ni mamakinyira nigetha maundu maria tureciria horo wa atumia uria atumia mangiteithiririo matige kuhinyiririo na matige kuragwo maundu maria magirire mothe gwikwo gisheria ono horo wa investigation no horo wa guteithiriria community ku understand kuria mangetha uteithio hindi ria mona mutumia ni ahinyiririo ati ni turacokeria president witu ngatho muno ni undu wa gukorwo atuhete nafasi ya gwika campaign cia kuregana no horo wa uria atumia maroragwo na iritu maroragwo na kuregana na maundu maria mothe marahana ta kurehe gender based violence community-ini itu na nituonete uria airitu mahinyiririo no rais witu ni atuteithitie muno President William Ruto akahe women leaders milioni igana nigetha to make sure campaign ici tutige kuona airitu makiuragwo na ona arume mundu wothe both genders matige kuragwo.
Violence is not only to the female gender. Sometimes our boys are also suffering. And I would call on Kenyans, please, let's take care of our children, both women and men. It is very important as female senators, we are mothers, we are leaders, we come from families, and we would want our families in Kenya to live in peace. Peace starts from home. Let's bring up our children with good values, and we embrace love and peace in this nation.
Uongozi kuna mambo mengi na sisi wanawake ni wale huwa tunasema wacha tufanye tutoke. We don't scheme, we don't do anything. We just do it right there and finish and wrap up everything that we have. Ni mambo ambayo yamefanyika na yametendeka na si kwamba yametendeka tu kwa viongozi wa kike. Tumeona Machakos viongozi wamepigana, tuliona Kisii, tuliona Nyamira, watu wamepigana katika county assemblies ndani. So haitakuwa vyema tuendelee kunyanyasa wanawake hata ambao wako katika uongozi kusema kwamba ni tukio labda la kipekee. We don't have to isolate that scene. Ni mambo ambayo yanaendelea na yote yanahusiana na uongozi.
We don't support any form of violence and we would really say we apologize for whatever happened yesterday. Though we were not there. We were not there. It is not acceptable. I'm not saying what they did is acceptable. I'm not defending that. We also say let leaders be more careful how they express themselves in public and be more responsible. And even the people sending the videos, let's be more responsible in what we are saying.
Na hii maneno ya gender based violence tunasikia kila wiki msichana ameuawa mahali. Maneno ya boyfriend and girlfriend. Surely hata tukiona kina nyanya zetu ama sisi tukiwa mama wazima, wasichana wavulana kuchumbiana na wasichana si kitu kimekuja juzi, ni kitu cha kitambo. Mbona watoto wetu hawawezi tu kuchumbiana kama vile ilikuwa kitambo? Mwenzako na kuchumbiana, it's never that serious. Si kitu ati unachukulia huyu hawezi kuniacha. Hiyo si kitu ati yenye umesema lazima last forever. Hiyo ni kitu mnajaribu kuelewana na mwenzako muone kama pengine mnaweza kuipeleka kwa next level. Kama mwenzako anakuacha, achika. Achika. Achika, achana na yeye, we songa mbele na pia yafanye nini? Let's stop the bitterness, that leads us to go to the levels of killing each other. It is really, really wrong.
Mimi nitakuangusha, mimi ndio nimesimama. Kwamba we are using a lot of time yetu kwa media, watoto wetu. Wampatia simu, they pick up the phones kutusi viongozi wengine. This one is bad, this one is good, this one is corrupt. Unauliza kijana sasa, wewe unaishi na amani. Wewe una simu. How do you know that leader wa Nairobi are corrupt? How do you know that huyo mwenyako ako Nakuru is corrupt? Hivi jana wanatusi viongozi because of that media. Lakini umesumuza zile umewadvise vizuri. If we get that advice to our youths outside there, itakuwa ni vizuri sana. Ukienda find a form 3 girl, anaanza mambo ya sweetie tiling. Hadi kuona atisikulangi. Na mtu amekula ameshipa. Anakudanganya kwamba akuli. Bado anakula ukali paka ukienda nyumbani kwao, anangorota kuanzia saa 2 mpaka saa 2 asubuhi. Anakudanganya. Let us not fall prey to such things.
Youth sio akuwa ameongelea tu juu ya wasichana. Alikuwa pia anaongelea juu ya wavulana. Unajua wavulana pia wanaweza danganywa. Nowadays there's something what you call baby mamas. Hao pia wanaweza danganywa na wamama wenye wako na pesa na wakose mwelekeo. So let us be focused and we will go far. There is no gain without pain. There is no gain without pain. And here I mean for the youth, we must have what we call perseverance. Najua youth wengi siku hizi labda wanataka shortcut. We are having an aging civil service. Who will replace that aging civil service kama hatuna vijana ambao wamesoma? Najua daktari hapa hana madaktari, hawako surgeons, sijui nani, they are not there. So nyinyi simsome, wakati wanatangaza nafasi mtachukuliwa. But as a community we are having a challenge. Vijana wengi wanataka shortcut. Wengine wanaingia kwa kiti inaitwa wash. Mtu anakuambia ako na gold na hana. Unampea 10 million, umeuza shamba, anapotea. Wash. Do. Na pia imeingia katika siasa, voodoo politics. Abracadabra, something like that. Kora imekuwa mingi.
Thank you very much.
Taimba Bwana usehemu yangu. Wakitujengea watufanyia kila kitu watabeba.
This is a project that you can invest in.
Na huu ni mradi ambao utawekeza.
Kuna maneno ambayo tunakumbana nayo ambayo kwa kimombo tunaita triple threat. Triple threat actually consists of there are 3 components which are a threat mainly to our youth. Tuko na HIV ambao inasambaa sana na zaidi among the youths. Tuko na gender based violence ambayo hapa Bungoma tukilinganisha na kaunti zingine tuko vibaya sana, yani tuko juu kwa ile wamama na baba kupigana, pia watoto wasichana kwa wavulana, you know. Alafu tuko na early pregnancy, teenage pregnancy. Yeah. Hiyo teenage pregnancy Bungoma tuko vibaya. Watoto wetu teenagers. Watoto wa shule. Tunapata hata watoto wa primary wanashika mimba. Sasa unajua hatuwezi kulaumu watoto. Wazazi, tukue responsible na wale wanaume, watoto wetu, ndugu zetu, baba zetu ambao wanapachika watoto mimba. Tafadhali, hata kama ni nini, tuachane na watoto wadogo. Tupee hawa watoto nafasi ya kukua watu wazima. Pia wajue, yani waishi maisha yao kama watoto wadogo, na wakue watu wazima, na waweze kujua kuchagua kile ambacho wanataka.
Senator Osotsi.
Madam Speaker, I was the last speaker yesterday on this motion, and I was told that I have my, is it 16 minutes, and I've come to you to plead because I was handling an emergency. So I came in late. So, Madam Speaker, I still want my minutes to contribute to this very important motion. I have pleaded my case before you on why I was not there at the beginning of the debate.
What is your point of order, Senator Gloria, before I give a direction?
Yeah, Madam Speaker,
to
I was
Senator
just going to say I truly empathize with Senator Osotsi because he was very passionate about this matter. However, Madam Speaker, having been mentored, and nowadays you see, Madam Speaker, that I am following the rules and the standing orders. It is very clear in our standing orders, Madam Speaker, and I wanted to take this opportunity because you know when you learn, you also want to share the information to inform Senator Osotsi that it is very clear that, you know, once you lose your opportunity based on our standing orders, you are not, it is gone. So, Madam Speaker, I just wanted to gloat that now, you see, I'm learning, and if you can rule in that direction, I'll be very happy.
What's your point of information, Senator Osotsi?
Now that Senator Glory is in the learning mood, I want to inform her that, Madam Speaker, you have powers under Standing Order number 1 to make a decision that is not provided for in the standing orders, like this one, which I have pleaded with you that I was responding to a family emergency, and I came in late after the debate had started. Can you apply Standing Order number 1?
Senator Osotsi, thank you. I have listened to your plea, and I completely empathize with your situation, especially the emergency that you had, and I hope you have been able to resolve it. But this House is guided by standing orders, and I want to read out for you Standing Order 36, which should also give benefit to Senator Gloria, who in her renewed form now is learning and willing to learn. And I want to read it out so that we also get to also learn along the way. Resumption of interrupted business. Any debate interrupted under this part shall, on coming again before the Senate or the committee, be resumed at the point where it was interrupted. And any senator whose speech was so interrupted shall have the right to speak on such resumption for the remainder of the time available to him or her. But if such a senator does not avail himself or herself of this right, his or her speech shall be deemed to have been concluded. The challenge we have right now is that when this debate resumed, at the point when it resumed, you were called out, and unfortunately you were not there. And there was no explanation on the emergency, so that Standing Order 36 becomes applicable in this situation, and the standing order which you want the Speaker to use the discretion on applies to situations which are not expressly provided for. Now, having seen that this situation is provided for under Standing Order 36, I then become bound as a chair to use the standing orders and adopt Standing Order number 36. But in future, when you approach the chair, to use Standing Order 1, where the situation allows, you have the assurance of the chair that I will utilize Standing Order 1. But for today's situation, Standing Order 36 applies, so you lost your chance, and we will see you in the next debate. There being no other senator except Senator Otsotsi who is interested in submitting or sharing contribution on this debate, we now call upon the mover to reply. Yes, the mover. If the mover is well guided, to give you a chance.
Madam Speaker, you can be sure that if I had an opportunity to permit my colleague, Senator Otsotsi, to second, I definitely would have done it, because I listened to him when he was contributing yesterday, and he entirely supported the particular report. And for very valid reasons, he was able to distinguish himself as one who understood the petition and understood the context of the report by the Joint Committee. Unfortunately, Madam Speaker, I'm just replying to the submissions and the comments by members. I would like to first appreciate the following senators who contributed to this motion. Those who supported and those who did not support the motion indeed has enriched the debate on this particular motion, Madam Speaker. Appreciate Senator Sifuna, Senator Olekina, Senator Mungatana, Senator Otsotsi, Senator Cherargei, Senator Ruoba, and Senator Karen Nyamu, who've spoken to this particular motion. And I'll say three things, Madam Speaker, with regards to the general contributions that came from the members. One is an appreciation of the petition by Mr. Laban Omusundi. And in appreciating that petition, Madam Speaker, Mr. Laban Omusundi did understand that the lawyers or the county governments or any other such person who would be seeking for legal representation has an entitlement, which is a constitutional right under Article 27 of the Constitution, Article 50 of the Constitution, that specifically speaks to fair hearing. And fair hearing, Madam Speaker, includes the right to get representation of your choice. One of the major issues that the Joint Committee, Madam Speaker, had to consider is that particular provision of the Constitution, whereby if you were on the one hand going to be forced to deny the county governments their right to seek legal representation of their choice, whether in-house or seeking to procure services from external lawyers, that right, Madam Speaker, cannot be taken away. The committee, Joint Committee, was indeed alive to that fact, and it considered the entitlement, which is a constitutional right. I appreciate the contribution by members to that extent, and it informed largely a number of the recommendations which we made, because we needed to safeguard the constitutional provisions. I also would like, Madam Speaker, to still stress the point that in this Joint Committee, there was indeed a diversity of thoughts. The membership to the committee comprised 9 members of the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee and 9 members of the Devolution Committee. It did not, as a matter of fact, comprise members who are all lawyers, and therefore, Madam Speaker, it would not have been possible for conflict of interest to be available to all the 18 members, even if for one moment one would think that the lawyers who sat in that committee would have had an interest. But then again, Madam Speaker, I want to confirm the fact that it is not about the conflict of interest that members have alluded to in their support or speaking against the bill. It is about the corruption aspect that is very rampant in our county governments. Why do I say so, Madam Speaker? It is indeed provided under the County Attorneys Act, Section 16, the procedure within which a county government can procure the services of an external lawyer. And one of the main and major proposals, which a number of members, I think this specifically was stated by Senator Mungatana, is that if all the county attorneys, or rather all the county governments, were to support their county attorneys to comply with what the law provides as regards outsourcing legal services, we will not be able to get to the situation we are in as regards pending legal fees, which spills over to billions of shillings from across the 47 counties in this country. Madam Speaker, the main issue here is the corruption that is rampant in our counties. And in the report, we have highlighted in our observation the fact that if only county governments were to comply with the law, including an observation made which we said that parties, where possible, should have pre-engagement agreements where they agree on the terms of engagement, including the legal fees. And I believe that if that were to happen, we will definitely be able to ensure that there is no ballooning of legal fees, but at the same time protect the right and the entitlement of our respective county governments to have their legal representation of the choice. It is also not lost, Madam Speaker, that this law that is in place is sufficient enough to make sure that we protect both the county government and also the external lawyers who equally are entitled in law not to be discriminated against, because denying them the option to bid for and get legal services at the county governments or any other such government agency will also fly against the constitutional provisions which speaks against discrimination of any person, no matter the kind of discrimination. And therefore, Madam Speaker, the recommendations which the committee made had considered all across the board the major issues the stakeholders provided, and also the concerns that all these members have put in. As I conclude, Madam Speaker, I appreciate the fact that indeed the issue has already been raised by the Office of the Auditor General, who was among the stakeholders that contributed to this particular petition, and their observations were fully considered. So, Madam Speaker, as I reply, I want to close at that and appreciate the members who gave us the support. And because of the situation that we are in, I will seek, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 66.3, the deferment of the question to a later date. Madam Speaker, I reply, and I thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Senator Sige. The putting of the question is hereby deferred to the next sitting of this Senate. Honorable Senators, I now take this opportunity to reorganize the standing order and defer order number 16 to order number 21, because the movers of all those motions are not present in the House, so those will be deferred. So, Honorable Senators, there being no other business on the order paper, the Senate stands adjourned until tomorrow, Thursday, 10th April 2025 at 2:30 p.m. Thank you.